What's up, my people? It's your girl Barbie J here, and we are talking about Queens Season 1, Episode 7. Who shot you? Who shot you? Well, we gonna find out who shot who next week probably, but I have a feeling I know who shot JR. No, let me stop. Not JR. But who shot Eric? We know who did it, but they don't want to talk about it. But it starts off, before we start off, shout out to everybody in my comment section. Thank you to all my subscribers for holding my channel down. If you have not subscribed yet, please take a moment, hit that little subscribe button, and then hit the notification bell. It'll let you know every time Barbie J uploads a new video. Please, okay? It's free. It doesn't hurt you at all, but it helps me. And that's all I'm asking for Christmas, is you to subscribe. All I want for Christmas is not my 2 front teeth, but more subscribers, more subscribers, more subscribers. That's all I want is from you. Let me stop. I'm making up stuff now. Anyway, y'all, let's get started with this show. Okay, so it goes back. It seems like it's going back. They standing at the billboard. They all looking at it. And Naomi sitting there going, wow, a mom, a washed-up musician, a disgraced daytime TV host, a lesbian church lady, a young rapper fresh out of rehab are going on a world tour. Yep, the Little Muffin and Queens World Tour. And they are amazed. That's their first billboard going up. And I think that's by the Staples Center, if that is. I think that's where it is in California they were. Eric told them to meet him there. And so while they're there talking about it, that's when somebody comes out and they shoots them. Now, they trying to make it obvious that we think it's going to be the guys who are after Eric. But I don't think that at all. And I'm going to tell you who I think it is. But I'm going to tell you after this review. At the end of the review, and y'all put it down in the comment section who you think it is. But so we seen it goes back 12 hours before that photo shoot, because they had a photo shoot for the world tour and all that stuff. Eric is getting these phone calls from people. He's trying to work out deals. He's trying to get them, the best thing. No, we're not going at no Jones Beach. We need the garden, Madison Square Garden. They doing all of that. So he's talking to people. Then he gets a phone call. And on the phone, it says, do not answer. I think he wrote on that number, do not answer. So he knows to never answer. So that's Jada Kiss, because he seems to owe Jada Kiss some money. Meanwhile, they got Valeria. They talking to her about not checking out her moms and stuff. And she's talking about, look, old Valeria would have been very cynical, but I'm trying not to be that way. I'm monitoring my credit cards and everything. And I'm like, how is your mom still in the picture? How haven't you had her checked out? This don't make no sense. And then they showing Naomi and Brianna. They talking and chatting. And comes to find out, Naomi is smiling a lot, texting and stuff, because she messing with, now she gonna start messing with Rodrigo. I guess he's been sending her text messages, and even Eric has noticed it, because he's like, why you over there smiling? When he's talking to them and stuff, and he's telling them to be on time. He's like, okay, we got this at this time and that at time. Make sure Jill is on time, because Jill seems to keep running late, and we don't know why. And then come to find out, Jill is up here laying down raps with Wyclef Jean. So she's running down raps with him, and then he's asking her advice on the hook and the lyrics and stuff, and she gives her little opinion, and then he asks her, do she have any vocals? Do she know how to sing? And she's like, hell, I do a little bit, but I ain't never did it outside of the church. So he's like, man, you got something to give. You got anything going on right now? Let's do this. So she sits down, and I guess not sit down, but they lay some tracks for that. Meanwhile, we got Valeria. Valeria decides to have the conversation with her mother. Of course, her mother got this excuse as to why she was taking pictures. She said, I dropped your pocketbook, but I dropped your pocketbook and your card, your stuff fell out. And when I saw it, I'm like, my daughter has a Black American Express. Oh my God, I was so proud. So I couldn't help it. I know it's stupid. I took a picture, and I know I have to be earned. She said my trust has to be earned and stuff. But hello, Valeria, she flipped the damn cards over and was taking pictures. She didn't just take a one. The video showed her taking up like 1, 2 or something like that, flipping them over. So that was the excuse she made. Then Valeria goes to Eric and he gives her the card with her fingerprints on it and wants him to run the prints and everything and find out who she really is. Is she really her mother? Is she really that squeaky clean and stuff like that? And Eric's like, okay, we gonna check, but hopefully that's, hopefully she is. Next thing we got these thugs. Oh no, we got Little Muffin trying to figure out how to make ramen noodles. She don't know to put it in some water. Put in some water and stuff. She sprinkled the powder on it and tried to bite it and was eating it dry and crunching. And that's when she heard the guys coming in and she hid. And it was Jadakiss and his little thugs and stuff. They at Eric's house with a gun, talking about he owes them $750,000. So what happened is we see that Eric is such a nice guy. He borrowed the money to pay off Little Muffin's debt, to look out for her. And that's nice. Most managers probably wouldn't do that or whatever, but that's what they did. And that's what he did. So he owes the money. He had a deadline when he was supposed to pay it, and he hadn't paid it. So they gave him to the end of the day to get him. I guess he had a few more hours because it was like 5 more hours or something. They was like, you better have my money. In the meantime, she came out, Little Muffin came out asking what's that all about. And he was like, nothing. And she was like, no. She said, no, I'm concerned. And he was like, no, don't worry about it. And she said some guy was hitting her up and wanted her to come over to somewhere and she could get $250,000. She could get $250,000 if she comes to his party and be the special guest host or something like that. But Little Muffin, when she did it, Eric was saying no not to do it. But when she did go and do it, said, okay, I'll do it. Eric kept saying, where's the money? Where's the money? And the young white kid was like, I'm a billionaire, but don't worry about it. You're going to get your money. I got your money and all this stuff. And Eric didn't feel good about it. And the next thing you know, the white guy want Little Muffin. Everybody's taking pictures with her. What they want her to do is smoke coke. Sniff coke with them. Said, we want the real Little Muffin, experience. And she could have just said no. She's looking at it. She's just like, I'm good. No, I don't do that anymore. That's why I was in rehab. Make it clear. Make it plain. But she didn't do it. Eric was right there. Eric came over there because they were trying to force it on her. Eric said, no, we can't let you do that or something like that. And she's like, that's okay. It's cool. And then she didn't want to do it. And when Eric did, he made a move, and that white kid had like 4 thugs that's with him, and they all surrounded them and stuff. And Eric's like, no, let's go. I can't let you do that. What's the purpose of somebody going to rehab and you want them to coke it up to do it again? That's why I did it, to get clean, stupid. And I guess she should have made that clear from the beginning. I ain't doing no drugs, but who would think they would ask you to do that? Poor Little Muffin. She was being tempted. Yield not to temptation, for yielding is sin. And I'm glad she didn't, honey. So anyway, what else happened? Jill, she coming late to that press conference. She always got to be late to stuff. And she admitted that she was laying tracks for Wyclef Jean and what was going on. But she's really committed to the group. And, she'd be nowhere without them. And, yada, yada. And they're looking at her like, whatever. And then they go in there and Eric tells them, whatever you do, don't let them separate y'all. Don't let them break y'all apart. So they were asking questions. It was a press conference, so that all the reporters are asking them these questions. And, some of them was personal, but a lot of them was directed at Jill and coming out and everything, so it got to a point where Valeria's like, look, do anybody have a question about the tour and not about just Jill and what people are going through? Let's do it about the tour, and then, who was it? Not Naomi, Brianna jumped in and just said, look, we family, we this, we that. And they broke it down and she said it really nice. It was really well. And then they tried to say something to Little Muffin, and Little Muffin said, they were like, first they were on you, opening for you. Now you opening for them. And they like, no, we family. And she's the little queen. And, they, like Eric said, keep it tight, the family tight. Don't have them breaking y'all apart. But Jill looked like she wasn't able to answer some of those questions, you know, to keep it unified, keep them, you know, as a unit. Anyway, what else happened? Oh yeah, I like that, how Brianna ended it saying, you know, we represented every woman up here, you know, so we ain't going nowhere, chick, you know. And they grabbed hands and held, you know, like we're family. That was the line that I liked, because they were really trying to, you know, with the questions. So Valeria learns that that woman is not her mother. She thought it was her mother. She's like, my mother's been in prison and da 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 da, and she's, you know, in and out of jail since she's been 14. He's like, that's not your mother. It's a con. It's a con, and that's what she's been doing. And since a teenager, since 14, I think it says, in and out. And Valeria's like so upset, and she says she knows who my mother is. That's why she's able to do this and stuff. So Valeria wants to leave and hurry up and find out and kick that little lying mother out my house. And Eric tells her, do not do that. Don't do that. Act like you don't know what you know. Just keep it calm. He said, my guys are coming up with a plan. They're going to come up with a plan to get her out safely, because if you blow up her spot, we don't know how she's going to react and come back at you. She's a dangerous person. And Valeria's like, what? Well, okay, fine. He's like, please tell me. We got something to do. We want to make sure you be safe. No, Valeria's ass going to act like she tough, going in there with some 4-inch heels on, trying to be tough on somebody. The lady yoked her ass up, had her up against the wall, because Valeria didn't listen. So she blew up the spot. And that girl told her she could be very dangerous. You better watch yourself. You know, that lady, I think that lady is the one who shot them. That's who I think it is. I don't think it have anything to do with Eric. Because Jadakiss was like, what do you think? I'll go around shooting people? No. You know, he was saying he wanted a percentage. After, you know, Eric didn't have his money at the end of the day, he was like, I want a percentage, 10% of all money's coming in. He's like, I can't do that. Ain't my money to give or to take or whatever, do it. You better figure something out. So I don't know how that was, but they end up getting into a fight and a scuffle. And I'm sorry, I skipped over, but you know, Eric and Jadakiss and his boys got into a scuffle, fighting and stuff. And Eric jumped in his car and drove off. And that's when he went to meet the girls by the Staples Center when he got shot. So they make us believe that it's him. But then also we see this woman who she told Valeria, you better not go to the police. She said, if you go to the police, I'm going to get you, or something like that. You know, you better watch your back. So she said, I want to know who my mother is. Who's my mother? You had to know her to get that stuff done. So the woman told her, I'll tell you who your mother is, but you better not go to the police. Understood? And Valeria's like, fine. But, of course, Valeria's ass didn't listen, and they showed a woman sitting in her car watching Valeria leave the precinct, still with the dress on and high heels, but she didn't listen to Eric. She's so hard-headed, so freaking hard-headed, so freaking hard-headed. And what happens? What happens, y'all? Brianna gets shot. Brianna gets shot. And but you knew they was going to have to do something like that because she's pregnant in real life and they had to get her out of the show some kind of way, you know, so they had to somehow make it work. And that made it work. She'll be in the hospital all the time or getting better, always under blankets. You saw at the photo shoot, she's the only one with a coat on. And when she was talking to Naomi there behind the table, behind a rack, you know how they do it in those studios. But this was like, really, Valeria, why didn't you listen? Now you got somebody shot because of you. That's right, because Eric told her. And then Eric ended up fighting the person who shot him and her. But if it was a dude, it would have been worse. But it was that woman and she got away. That's my feeling. Like I said, y'all let me know. Then we have, what's her name? Jill walking to her car. I think she's cute. And who's standing at her car but Tina? And Tina wore into her behind with her words and let Jill know how she felt about her and what type of person she really is. She said, you're nervous right now. You're scared. You think I'm going to go to the press and tell your business and all that. And you should be scared. You need to be scared. You know, she went in on her and then got mad and said, you're going to get what's coming to you. You're not a nice person or something like that. She said, you're not a nice person or mean person. No, she says she's evil and that her reckoning is going to come. She tries to hide behind this little good girl exterior, but she's an evil person and uses people and stuff. And she said she's going to get what's coming to her. And she spit on her car. She's like, spit on her car and pushed past her and walked away. I said, oh my God, Tina got funky and nasty up in her face. She kind of right to a point because Jill was wrong. She used her and everything. You know, you act like you were so in love and with Tina and that's why you left your husband and now you're out there experimenting because that little Indian chick opened you up to this whole new world and you became, I don't know, something else. Y'all know she got up there trying to do the nasty bitches by herself, you know, and performing with some other people and didn't tell the girls. Now she was hiding this Wycliffe John thing from them, but she finally came clean because she coming late to everything. Always late, playing the diva role. So we gonna see what happens with her. What else happened? Let me see. I'm trying to remember stuff. Oh, Naomi went on that date with Rodrigo and stuff. And they're sitting there. She's never been on a date before in her life. Like actually a real date with a man sitting down eating. And she's like sitting there going, why don't we just do, you know, they looking at each other and they in a restaurant. She said, why don't we just get out of here and do what we both are hoping this evening end up being or something like that. And he actually turned her down. Rodrigo actually turned her down. He wants to be, I guess, a gentleman and get to know her, whatever. I was like, okay. 2 snaps in a circle for him. Because and he is good looking. Now I looked at him, I was like, oh, he finer than fine, ain't he, y'all? Oh, and I forgot to say that Brianna was supposed to go with her to the restaurant. And when they got to the restaurant, she didn't realize which one it was. She had gone on a date. I don't know if it was her first date, but she had gone on a date with her husband at that restaurant. So all of a sudden she started getting flashbacks and couldn't take it. And she wasn't doing well. And oh, it was just so bad. And she ended up having to text Naomi later on. She texted Naomi to let her know that she wasn't doing well. Because Naomi's like, why did you leave like that? And she kept saying she's doing good, but she wasn't. And so Naomi went back to the house to check on her and be with her, which was sweet. They family, so that's what they do. You know what I mean? That's what they do. But not before tonguing Rodrigo down in the restaurant. They were standing in that restaurant. People are eating. And they had a moment, the light is shining on them like the lights from heaven, shining down right on them. And they just kissing. I shouldn't say tonguing down because I ain't see no tongue. We in COVID, y'all. But, oh, they kissed and she was looking at him. I said, look at Naomi. You better go, girl. But like I said, Rodrigo wanted to keep the night going. But then that's when she got that text from Brianna. And she's like, my girl needs me. I'm sorry, I want to keep this night going too, but I can't. So she gets to Naomi's house and Brianna's house. Naomi gets to Brianna's house and they're in the bed and they're talking and they're saying how I should have been there for you. And the other one is saying I should have been there for you. And they having a moment and then you hear knock at the door, you know, and it's Jill shows up and she had Valeria with her. Valeria was on her way there. They all seem to always congregate at Brianna's house. And Valeria's still in that dress, in that outfit where she got choked up by that lady. She didn't know that lady was following her, seeing her, like I said, coming from the precinct. But anyway, they're talking how was the night. And Brianna drops the bag of Doritos they were eating. And when she drops the bag of Doritos, she sees a letter under the bed. And I'm sitting there going, it's been weeks now. Why are you just now seeing that letter under the bed? Something was weird. Like the letter, maybe it fell from out of a book or something or whatever. But anyway, she said, this is the letter that my husband gave me before he went and had surgery and said if he didn't make it to open it up. So when she opened it, it had I guess a name of a file and the password for the file. And she went into it and watched it, and it was so touching. Oh, my God. All of them were crying. He was like, if you're watching this, that means I didn't make it. You know how much I love you. Don't stop being selfless. You were so selfless, you know, about when we were together and doing everything for me and my career instead of yours. And, you know, he talked about their honeymoon, when they were on their honeymoon and when they were trying to make babies and what they said they was going to do for their kids. So he basically told her to do what makes her happy and be a little selfless from now on. You know, do what you want to do. It was so touching. I was sitting here, my eyes was tearing up. All of them were crying and stuff. And that's why this ending part was so touching to me. You know, the ending part made it even more touching because here it is. Those kids just lost their father and now their mother has gotten shot. And Brianna's sitting there. They all, you know, like I said, what's his name? Eric ended up fighting the guy after he got shot, the person. But then the person got away, and when he turned around, because there was a second shot, when he turned around, they got Brianna, and they're all crying and stuff, and like, what is going on? Brianna is hurt, you know. So we see next week she's in the hospital, being rolled up into the hospital. So it's like, oh boy, this is so touching to me. I tell you, it's a bit much, and the kids are all crying and stuff, because they just lost their daddy. But he said he loved and tell all my kids I love them and how much I love their mother. Oh, my God. Oh, he did apologize and say he felt horrible for ever hurting her. That's what it was. He felt horrible for ever hurting her. And even Jill had apologized when Wyclef asked her to do a single. He wanted to do her solo album. I think I forgot to tell that part. He wanted to do her solo album. And he said, because when you stood up at the BET Awards and came out and all that stuff, you know, you got a woman with a voice. She said, I wouldn't have this voice if it wasn't for my girls standing next to me and standing with me. She said, talking about the queens. And she was like, I can't do it. I can't hurt anybody I love anymore. And I think that was in reference to Tina, who she hurt, you know. So he wanted to do her first album solo, but she said, nah, she couldn't do it. So, and I think that was it from the episode. Let me know if I missed anything. I'm sure you guys will. But I think that was it. It was like always a wonderful episode, a wonderful show. And now Barbie J has to go because she has her granddaughter here. Okay? Right, Pumpkin Pie? Say bye. She's not going to say bye because she keeps waving at the phone. She doesn't realize you can't see her. But anyway, this your girl Barbie J saying peace.